When you think about a physical therapist, chances are your mind turns to adults, maybe athletes. But did you know that sometimes children, even babies, need PT? We're joined today by Sanford Health pediatric physical therapist Abby Brenner. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much for
having me. I had to have you
again.
back. You were here. We were talking about backpacks, heavy backpacks and our kids and how that could affect them. And I found out you were a pediatric physical therapist. So I find this fascinating. Let's just start with, what does that mean? Why would our kids need a physical therapist?
Yes, so physical therapy is for all ages, and I specialize in pediatrics. So really birth to kind of 18 years old, but I always remind families too that if somebody has an intellectual disability or maybe have more of the interests of a 5 or 6 year old, but they are 25, 26, we will absolutely see those children right at Sanford Children's Therapy, because sometimes the play is way more fun than those huge weight machines for somebody that has those interests. So yeah, birth to kind of wherever our interests take us.
Okay, so what are some of the instances where a parent might bring their child in to see you?
So there are wonderful pediatricians that we work with that will do screenings for each of the well child checks, and there are times where babies just aren't maybe meeting their milestones, whether that be they do not like tummy time whatsoever, they're not rolling when they should be, not sitting, not walking. I feel like walking is a big one that people notice. Other kids my baby's age are walking, and that's a big one that I see kids for. And then also if they're born with a condition, sometimes maybe like cerebral palsy is a big one that a lot of people know about. Spina bifida, they're just different genetic conditions that sometimes do impact the child's development and then make physical therapy a huge part of their life in helping them meet those milestones.
Being born is traumatic, so when you say, and I'm not only talking about cerebral palsy. I mean, I feel like I've heard about, needing some chiropractic care and different things for infants. So, I mean, do you see other instances where, maybe they could use a little extra help?
Absolutely. So one of the big things for little babies, like I've seen some that are a few weeks old, that they are developing flat spots on either the side of their head or the back of their head, and then maybe have a preference of looking one direction over the other. And some of that can really be due to positioning in utero. So when mom is pregnant, I'll sometimes ask, hey, did baby move a lot during the last trimester? And some moms say no, and I know baby was head down, that soft skull against the mother's hard pelvis, like that is going to make a huge impact on the shape of the head sometimes. And traumatic birth, sometimes those little muscles in the neck do get stretched and pulled in ways that they shouldn't be. So for physical therapy, then it's a lot of education, positioning, helping the families just know what to do with their little to help them be looking both directions well. And then I know a lot of people are familiar with helmets for head shape these days. In physical therapy, our goal is usually to avoid that if we can. Sometimes it's inevitable, but catching it early it really increases the odds of not needing a helmet and something long term that would be a deficit.
So people want to know, probably, just like if you go to a chiropractor, doesn't mean you're going to have to see your physical therapist for the rest of your life. You have a treatment plan, and it could just be a couple of sessions, or it could be quite a few. I'm sure it varies.
Yes, absolutely. So I find that the little babies that I'm seeing for that muscle tightness, that torticollis, and sometimes the head flattening, that most of them graduate within a few months, more of our short-term babies. Now, that's not to say that's true for everybody, but then some kids I will see for a few years on end, which is really cool because you get to see that baby starting off, like maybe they're just working on rolling, and now you get to send them off to kindergarten and they're walking, or just different things that you really become a special part of that child's life. And with the family too. Like some of the best and greatest parents that I get to work with are those children's parents.
Because the family also plays a huge role in PT for kids?
Absolutely. I can only do so much in a 30-minute session once or twice a week with the child, so there's so much education that I'm able to provide in encouraging, hey, have your child go up the steps doing step over step without the railing at home once or twice a day. Just different things that families can be doing at home to carry out throughout the week. And I also remind them, babies and kids, they're little, their attention span is short. So if you're getting 5, 10, 15-minute spurts throughout the day, is probably going to be much more beneficial than sitting down for an hour and trying to tackle everything all at once. But yeah, parents are amazing. Some of them are working full time, getting their child from daycare, doing these exercises for 5 to 10 minutes at the end of the day that can be overwhelming, but when they incorporate it, those are when we see those huge results.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. I find this fascinating. Maybe just go ahead and ask your pediatrician if you have any concerns, and maybe a pediatric physical therapist might be for your family. Stay with us. Coming up next, cool bikes and some very thankful veterans. We're talking about the American Veteran Motorcycle Show next.